Everyone, what's up? This is Andrew Guy for AndrewGuySpeaks.com, empowering you to create your greatest impact in the four most important areas of your life. I'm very excited about today's discussion. I want to talk to all of my youth that are out there right now. I know we're on summer break, we're getting ready for school, and I'm going to be launching a program for my youth on mental wellness and youth success. Now we're talking really about how do we reach our youth? They're struggling. Yes, we see in Toronto at this time, we're seeing a lot of gun violence, and it's not so much to point a finger at youth, and we not want to say that they're at risk even though they're labeled as such. But what we want to focus on today in this episode of mental wellness and youth success is, what can we do for our youth? What is wrong with our youth? Because most adults are saying that. They're saying something is wrong with our youth, but is there something wrong with our youth, or we're simply just asking the wrong questions? So we're going to answer that. The first thing, is there something wrong with our youth? We're going to answer that. And if so, what is the problem? Okay, so let's ask the question. Want to say a big shout out to everyone that's joining me live on Facebook right now or on YouTube right now. Just want to give a big shout out. My name is Andrew Guy, and I'm going to give a big shout out to T. Josh. He's on the camera right now. That's my son. And so he's doing an amazing job. And that's my way of encouraging our youth that they have a skill set that they can use and it can be monetized. And so he's basically in training right now and he's doing an amazing job. So just want to give a big shout out to T. Josh. All right, so the question is, what is wrong with our youth? Most people say that there's something wrong with our youth. They say that they don't have any guidance and they're missing purpose and they're missing leadership and they're missing mentorship. Yes, all of that may be true. But let's answer the question. Instead of us asking this question, if there's something wrong with our youth, is there something wrong with us? Because our youth is a result of what we sow in them. The youth may be, as I would describe before, they are the soil, they are the earth, and we have the seed that we're trying to sow into them. Many times we sow the wrong seed in them, but then we complain later on and we say that, well, why would he do something like that? But they have gotten it from somewhere. If they are the soil, if they just represent the earth, and we are basically the adults who's supposed to be sowing in them, and if we're sowing the wrong stuff, then we shouldn't complain when we see what the results are. We shouldn't complain when we see what the fruits are. So the behavior or the mannerism that we see in our youth is really a direct result of the actual seeds that were sown in them. Yes, did they make bad choices? Yes, everyone makes bad choices, but our goal is never to point a finger and says, okay, what did you do? And if we're saying, what did you do? Then we need to point a finger back at us and say, what are we doing? So let's go back to see if we've answered that question. What's wrong with our youth? Absolutely nothing is wrong with our youth. The issue is we're asking the wrong questions. What kind of questions should we be asking our youth? What do you love to do? What do you find interesting? What do you think about your future? What are some things that you enjoy doing? What are some things that you're just completely bored of doing? What are we doing? We're asking ourselves the questions that what can we do to help them? Because when we get the answers to these questions, we'll know exactly, we'll pinpoint some of the solutions that we can utilize to help them to realize their purpose. Now, I know I touched on a buzzword, purpose. So what is purpose? Let's clarify that and we're going to move on. Purpose, what is it? A lot of people are asking what purpose. I think they should take purpose and turn it into a verb. And when you look up purpose, you should see somebody doing something, right? But I think purpose is mislabeled. I think purpose basically in a nutshell is simply this, is living out your life assignment before you hit the grave. Purpose, that's what it is. If you haven't discovered what purpose is, you will spend the rest of your life trying to find it. And a lot of times our youth are filling it with violence, they're filling it with bad company, they're just filling it with everything that they can to say that I'm actually doing something. The reason why they're doing it is because they really don't know what they have inside of them. They really don't know who they are. They have this amazing gift inside them, but they haven't really discovered it yet. As adults, our goal really is supposed to help them to discover themselves. Now, How do they discover themselves? Simple. They need to start spending some time with themselves, by themselves, for themselves, so they can grow. Most of our youth are hanging out in gang because gangs are telling them, hey man, I love you, man. I'm here for you, man. There's anything you need, I can do this for you. There should be mentors in place where the youth can go to, where they can say, I need help in this area. I need help with this. I need you to assist me with this. I need you to help me to make a decision here. This is what we should be doing. When we can do this, then guess what? We have influence over their life. We have influence over the decisions that they're making. But if we're just pointing the finger and saying, okay, look at those youth. Did you know something? I've heard this said before that the youth are at risk. In the education the department, they use the term at risk, even in society and community. What does at risk mean when they say at risk youth? Are they really at risk? I beg to differ. I hear it in the classroom. As a certified teacher myself, I've seen it in the classroom. They say, oh, they're at risk. The youth are not really at risk. It's the person who are saying that they're at risk, which is the adults. It's the teachers. It's the educators who are looking at them and saying that they're at risk, because they are the ones that are at risk. Because think about it. Why did I say that? If the youth are coming up and they're going to be the future, right? If they're going to be the future, then check this out. If we say that they're at risk and the older folks are getting older, then the youth are going to be our inheritance. So if we say that they're at risk, if we say that they don't know how to read, if we say that they're dummy, if we say that they're idiots, if we say that they're violent, or they're just gangbangers, then really what we're saying is this is what the future is going to be, right? The solution to all of that is to rip off the labels. So what is the problem? Let me go back to the question I asked earlier on. Do they have a problem? And if so, what is the problem? The problem is simply this. Our youth are wearing the wrong labels. The labels that they're wearing are saying that they cannot. The labels that they're wearing are saying that I may not. I don't know where to go. I am an idiot. All of these are misplaced labels. And let me just clarify a little bit about what a label is. A label is simply something that identifies a product. So if a product says, okay, mushroom on it, if a product say burger on it, if a product says milk on it, then basically it's describing what's on the inside of that container. So a label describes what's on the inside of a container. Idiot on a youth's face basically describe an idiotic behavior that's inside the youth. Thief on a youth describe that there is a thievery or thief in spirit that's inside that youth, right? Gangbanger describe or declares that that person or the content in a person is supposed to be a gangbanger. I heard Martin Luther King said it wonderfully. He said we should not be judged by the contour or the color of our skin, but we should be based on the content of our character. What is the content? The content is what's on the inside of us. And here's the great part. You can't tell a youth he or she's an idiot, or you can't tell a youth that they're not going to be anything. You know why? Because the Bible tells me, it says this. It says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the hearts of men. The plans that the Creator, one who created the youth in the first place, has in store for them. Now, you have never seen the person's future. You have never seen what's on the inside of God's heart. So how can you tell the youth what they're going to be? The best place to start is to empower our youth to remove those false labels so they can relabel themselves. What do I mean by relabel? Taking off the bad label that says they cannot. Because, I remember the Creator said that you can do all things, not some, all things, through He, the Creator, who made you and strengthened you and empower you. Now, we're talking about mental wellness and youth success. Now, what does mental wellness have to do with youth success? The mental wellness is their mindset. What are they thinking about? The word says, as a man thinketh, so is he. But it's not just for man. The man is talking about not just male and female. It's talking about your spirit, right? So as the youth think, so they will become. We need to make sure as adults, as educators, as mentor, as leaders, that we're actually inoculating. That means we're putting in the right seed inside of our youth. Because when we do that, this is the only chance that we have to change the future. When we say, listen, you are going to be this. This is what you are. This is who I see. As a matter of fact, if you don't have the right words, turn to the good book. The good book one says, the Bible that is, it said in Psalm 139 verse 14, fearfully and wonderfully made. Could you imagine if you tell your youth that you're fearfully and wonderfully made? Could you imagine if you tell your youth that you're amazing? Could you imagine if you tell your youth there is nothing you can't do? Can you imagine if you tell your youth that you're an overcomer? Can you imagine if you tell the youth that, man, listen, there is greatness waiting to pop inside of you? Wow. What youth wouldn't be empowered? What youth wouldn't be inspired? What youth wouldn't be feeling so motivated that they can take on the world? That's what they're missing. They have the wrong label. They're working the wrong label. As a matter of fact, I had a chance to write a book called Work Your Words. So if the youth are working the right words, think of it, if words were a job, right? And if you work idiot, then you should get paid idiot, right? If words were, let's say, for example, an investment and you work criminal, whatever you work, it should give you a dividend or a return. So we're seeing all these violence across Toronto, these gun violence and stuff like that, is because they're working the wrong labels. I can't speak for every youth because I don't know their background, but what I can say for the ones that I've come across is because they don't feel loved, they don't feel appreciated, they don't feel inspired to do something greater than themselves. Matter of fact, they're not even told that they can be greater than what they see. They're focused on what's there and they're lost. And basically, these are youth that are they're trying to find themselves. But here is a caveat. Youth will find themselves in the adult. But if adults are not in place, then youth are lost because they say, well, how am I supposed to listen to you? Why would I listen to you if you're not in place to help me get to where I need to be? So if the adults are in place, if mentors are in place, then guess what? They will only be a reflection of who they see. Here's an example. Let's look at the sun versus the moon, right? One is a source and one is a resource, right? One is the source and the other one only reflects. The other one is only a mirror. So if the sun is the source, if the adult in their life are the source, then the youth really are just the moon, right? The youth really are the moon that reflects the light that it gets from the sun. Now, if they're not getting the right light from the sun, then guess what? They will only reflect what they see. Violence, gun violence, all of these things, it's not because the youth just conjured this up overnight. They're seeing this. Some of them are seeing it in their home, they're seeing it in the school, they're seeing it in the libraries, they're seeing it everywhere. So really what they're doing, they're just reacting or reflecting what society is putting out. So a lot of time we're blaming these youth. A lot of time we're saying that they're this and they're that, and we're pointing finger. But every time we point a finger, there are four more that are pointing back at ourselves. Our goal as a society really is to stop and look at ourselves first. As adults, as grown-ups or leaders, we need to stop and look at ourselves first. And then when we look at ourselves in the mirror and see what we're reflecting, then we need to go back and ask the youth, okay, fine, do you see the actions that I put out? Is that something you want to become? And if you ask these questions, they will have an answer for you. They will have an answer for you. Here's a great quote I want to leave you with. It's by Sir William Churchill. And no, not William, Sir Winston, I should say, Churchill. Winston Churchill says, failure is not fatal and victory is not final. Let me explain what he meant or what I got from it. Failure means, hey, it's not going to kill you. As a matter of fact, some failures are actually good for you. Some failures are good for you for it to happen, because when you fail at something, it tells you what you need to be working at. It tells you some catch up that you need to get done. It tells you that, listen, you're not perfect. It tells you that you got more work to do. So some failures are actually good for our youth. Sometimes it's good to let them fail so they can grow from those mistakes. I read a book one time by Carol Dweck. And she said, he talks about the growth mindset. And growth mindset basically is trying to help our students or our youth to become better failures, because I believe that the more they fail, they'll realize what they're not good at. And so therefore they will develop themselves to get better at something. But if we protect them, if we don't allow them to fail, that's another way that society failed the youth. We have all these shelters, all these programs built around them to prevent them from failing. Sometimes they need to fail at some things, not saying everything, because if they fail at some things, then they will build up their confidence to know that, guess what, even though I fail at something, it's not fatal, it's not going to kill me, it's going to help me to grow. Victory is not final. Now, Sir Winston Churchill said this, and he said, victory is not final. Meaning that, oh yeah, let's say you won a game, or you look at it from a life of sports. If you won a game, that doesn't mean that you're not going to play again. There are more winnings to be done. There are more victories to be won. So once you won one, doesn't mean that it's over. You have to keep on winning, because guess what? Once you win once, I guarantee that you're going to have to defend that title. And it's the same thing in life. Once you win at life, you're going to have to teach somebody else how to win, because it makes no sense for you to have one winner. Because when you're past and gone, who's going to maintain the level of victory? So what does he mean is that victory is not final. There's more winnings to be done. And so you have to teach, and that's why we need to have mentors for our youth. Mental wellness and youth success. If we empower our youth to have the right mindset, get their mind set on the right things, then guess what will happen? They're automatically a success. Because what is success? Success is completing that life assignment that you were created to complete. And guess what? It's not a one moment occurrence. It's not a one moment thing. Success is a step by step by step by step. As a matter of fact, the destination is the stairs. The destination is the stairs. But success is in the steps that make up the stairs. Did you get that? Success is the steps that make up the stairs. The destination may be the stairs, the entire walk, the journey, but your success is the steps that make up the stairs. That's what I want to leave with you today. Listen, you want to learn more about me, visit me at andrewguyspeaks.com. If you're a teacher watching this, if you are a guidance counselor watching this, listen, bring me in to talk to your youth. We're talking about mental wellness and student success. How do we help our students to be successful, see themselves as a success? Is by inoculating them with the right information. Let them know that they were born winners before the world told them that they were losers. That were born champion even before they even win at a game. That they were born to be leaders before they become followers and following other people in gangs. Let them know that they were overcomers before they got set back by the traps that they run into. Let them know that they're more than able, that they are conquerors before they were ever defeated by society and the labels that society put on them. Let them know that they were created to be greatness. They were created in the image of the Creator, and they were supposed to replicate what heaven looks like on earth. Now, that's what I want to leave with you today. But before I go, let me put this in your mind. Let me put this in your mind. When we talk about mental wellness or mental health, there are a lot of bureaucracy around it. There are a lot of industries, there are a lot of, aid that is out there. But the first step in mental wellness is to connect. Have these youth connect in the right environment. But before they connect, you must create the environment. Create the environment so they can connect. And when they connect with the right people within that environment, then we help them to discover who they are. We help them to get it out. We help them to talk about what's hurting on the inside. So in other words, we're actually trying to get them to do a brain dump, get them to get it out, because a bomb doesn't explode from the outside in. It explodes from the inside out. Get it? Explode. Hear what I'm saying? Explode means explosion on the external action, but the manifestation of explosion is implosion. So the implode on the inside, the explosion is only what you see, the evidence. So we need to get them to get it out. Let them talk about it. Let them share out. This is what's bothering me. And then after we understand them, then we need to come up with solutions. The solution is to get them moving, get them active, get them doing responsibilities that's going to take them closer and closer and closer to discovering what they were created to do. This is Andrew Guy with AndrewGuySpeaks.com, empowering you to create your greatest impact in the four most important areas of your life. What is that? Where you live, work, play, and pray. Join me next time for mental wellness and youth success. So we're talking about that. I'm going to be launching a program within the school district. That's the HWCDSB and then the TDSB. And for all the other school districts want to join, give me a call. Check me out. Visit me online, AndrewGuySpeaks.com. Take care. Until then, I'll see you. Remember, you are created to be great. Any other option that you've taken basically is a settlement. And don't settle. Keep raising the bar. Take care. Want to say a big shout out to Mama D in Arkansas. Big shout out to my good friend Elder Martin. Big shout out to my friends over there at Let's Talk TV. In Woodrow Wilson, the host of the show. Want to send a big shout out to my son T. Josh in the back there on the camera, doing an amazing job. And so therefore, and to all the youth that are out there, remember, listen, you rip that label off and you start wearing the right label, the one that says that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Until then, we are out of here. Take care. God bless. Out.